Huntsville. Y'all, I watched the episode one time because I'm trying to catch up on everything. And so we just gonna run through it, okay? I am a fan of Sabrina Carpenter. Drop down in the comments, you guys, if you are also a fan of Sabrina Carpenter. You know how petty this song is? Okay, I heard you're back together. And if that's true, you just have to taste me when he's kissing you. What? What? Boy, let me tell you, you gonna have to taste me when he's kissing you. Boy, if that ain't the story of Martell Holt, okay, and Martell Holt said that ain't just my story, that's Marsau's story too. And he back at it, y'all. He back at it trying to go after Marsau. So let's go ahead and get into it. I think we opened up the episode with Melody and Kimmi, if we're not mistaken. Kimmi is invited over to Mel's house, you know, catching up ever since the trip because they haven't seen each other. And obviously, we all know since they've gotten back and everything, Maurice they got arrested. So, everybody wants the details. So Melody, she invited her over under the guise of, hey, Kimmi. Under the guise of, Kimmi needs, health and wellness and things like that. So the lady came over, helped Kimmi work out. Y'all, Kimmi looks really good for everything that she's been through. She really, really does. So yeah, she goes over to Mel's, works out, and Mel was just like, yeah, Kimmi, like, how are you doing? I know it can be really, emotionally. Okay, this bell is gonna have to. Sorry, y'all. My mom got this damn bell hanging. And hopefully it wasn't just annoying in the beginning of this video because I don't feel like starting over to record. But yeah, Mel basically was like, Kimmi, how are you doing? I know it can be really exhausting when you have a partner who is always, on social media, always dealing with, stuff basically. Because at the end of the day, like, they're an extension of you. Martell, all the way with his bullshit, was an extension of Melody, and now Maurice, now with his bullshit, is an extension of Kimmi. And Maurice, at this point, has been in the headlines more times than enough to understand that Kimmi is tired of it, okay? She tired of always looking up at Maurice's ass is on social media, making her look bad. So, Kimmi tried to play it off. She was like, I'm good. She's like, are you sure? Because I get it, girl. I get it, with Martell and everything. And, my life, I understand what it's like to have a partner, always kind of like causes stress. And so she was like, with Maurice, obviously with him being arrested and his DUI. And Kimmi just kind of was like, yeah, she's like, no, everything's good. And Mel started trying to put a little more detail in it. So, like, was he really arrested in the middle of the day? And Kimmi was like, well, all that's public information. And Melody was like, well, so he was arrested in the day. And Kimmy's like, that's not what I said. She's like, don't put words in my mouth. She was like, everything's good. We know that as of right now, he is, waiting for the court system to do what it does. And until then, he hasn't been charged of any crimes and is innocent. Real Karen Huger type stuff, right? So, everybody definitely is on the side of trying to get the tea out of all the other couples, especially Melody. Melody is saying, look, I done filleted my whole life open, okay? I done flipped it over, roasted it, and cooked it till it was done. Stick a fork in it. It's now time for y'all hoes to start working for y'all coin, okay? So, Kimmi, you got a nigga that, is talking about how he still wants coochie while you in the middle of treatment. We're going to talk about that. You got Maurice who's getting arrested in the middle of the day for a DUI. Guess what? We're going to talk about that too. Yeah, Kimmi is doing everything she can not to talk about it, not seem like how annoyed she was about that situation. But we know, because at the end of the day, Maurice is, he's not even a grown man. He's a grown boy. Like, he literally acts like a grown-ass boy. But moving on, from one grown-ass boy to another, Martell meets Destiny in her shack truth be told, I ain't mad at Destiny for, you know what, keep pursuing. You know, Madani, now she's expanded to home essentials, candles, fragrances, and a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, that's the problem with a lot of y'all who be trying to start, you know, e-commerce, stuff like that. Start with one item and then go from there. Now you don't went from, you were at a hair store, but now you're like, okay, I'm doing candles, I'm doing, you know, sheet sprays, I'm doing fragrances, I'm doing just like a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, it's giving real She by Sheree, where Sheree's like, I got all this stuff I'm trying to give to you. And it's like, it's where it's like a jack of all trades, master of none. Like, y'all need to start learning how to start with one item and then build from there. But okay, Destiny, you know, whatever floats your boat. So I guess it's a whole lot of other people who be renting their little spaces in, because in that hallway it was a whole bunch of other different businesses. So Martell and Destiny's friend helped her take some boxes to her little Madani spot, and she's just checking in on him and just like, you know, hey, how you doing? How's everything been for you? He's like, you know, I'm cool. And she was like, you know, what's going on with you and the guys? Because at this point, we know Martell has been convicted, but he's trying to say not convicted. And only he's not convicted for the sake of the fact that he's saying the judge didn't basically, the judge technically didn't do like a ruling. And it's like, he's waiting on the judge basically to validate what the court's already said, if I'm not mistaken, because my nigga, you guilty, Martell. You tried to use that freaking clip of a video that y'all made and you threatened Melody with it, all for the sake of talking about, oh, stop bullying me. Oh, stop having your fans bully me. No, Martell, stop doing dumb shit. We wouldn't have to get on your ass about nothing. You keep doing stuff and then you're getting pissed off about the reaction. Real narcissistic personality trait, okay? You want to be mad at the reaction versus acknowledging the fact that your ass started it. Like, really, Martell?
Yes.
Yeah, Destiny brought it up, was like, you know, have any of the guys reached out to you? And he was like, nah, you know, we ain't spoke, you know, hey, I do feel some type of way, like, you know, y'all my boys or whatever, like, we supposed to be boys, all that type of stuff like that. And so Destiny's like, well, you know, I hate that you feel that way, like you're not supported, you know, it really is unfortunate. And see, this is where I'd be looking at Destiny like with my good eye, because at the end of the day, Destiny keeps trying to toe this line of being cool with Martell, but you really want to be back cool with Melody as well, because also I forgot, Melody was talking to Kimmi about just social media in general and like being back from the trip and seeing everybody. And Melody brought up how she's like, you know, Destiny, when she got back, like, she been doing interviews about me, like she been talking cash money shit about me. And I'm confused because on the trip she hit me with the I'm so sorry and I love you, but then when we get back home, it's, you know, the complete opposite. I think Destiny struggles with wanting to be Melody's friend, but she knows if she is cool with Melody, Martell is gonna pitch a fit. Like, she's already kind of really picked a side. You decided to go Team Martell, but what you see, all the dumb shit that Martell keeps doing, it's not a good look for you, Destiny. It really ain't. But at the same time, you still want to have some type of connection to Melody, because one, you need this show because you need the money. Okay, we know you need the monions. And it's like, but also you miss Melody, you miss being her friend, and that's cool, that's okay, but be real, like, be real about it, Destiny. Don't be like talking out of both sides of your neck. So also as well, Destiny was talking about how everybody now got mugshots. She's like, you know, Maurice, shoot, he just got arrested really the same week as me. Like, what is going on? It's like, it's almost like it's a hit out on Huntsville. And so she's like, you know, I really just want to you know, get everybody together and let's just like lighten the mood. Let's all just kind of do like a big D energy Destiny, you know, field day, and let's just like get everything out on the table, you know, and just be grown about it. Let's just try to move forward. So after that, there is a scene with Tisha. She goes over to Marsau at a location they're building. Marsau and his big refrigerator bike is talking to his employees and stuff, and Tisha comes up, and her idea basically is she wants to get the community involved. She's like, look, you know, if we are new brokers or builders, developers or whatever, and a lot of times when you do go into communities and you do start, you know, building and stuff, not only does it bring like down the property value for everybody else in that moment, because it's like y'all are construction, y'all are, you know, it's people don't want to hear construction and all that shit going on, you know, all day and night. So people don't like that. Then not to mention, if you are building a location that looks totally different than what it already seems to be in like the community, you know, Tisha's like, you know, she just kind of wants to get ahead of it. But I also see where Marsau is coming from, where it's like the minute you put an opinion box out there, it's gonna be full. Because at the end of the day, people just like to complain. Like, people like to complain. So he's like, you do whatever you want to do. So then she starts bringing up, you know, have you talked to Martell? You know, I want you to check in on him, just because I know when he starts feeling like, basically, like when he starts feeling like nobody messing with him, Tisha wants Marsau to check in with Martell and check the temperature. Because when Martell starts feeling a little isolated and starts feeling a little done wrong, that's when he starts slinging gasoline on everybody's house to watch it catch on fire along with his. And that's why Tisha was like, you know, I just want, you know, I just checking on Martell, you know. And so she's like, well, you know, Maurice, also how Maurice is doing. And Marsau was like, he fine. And she was like, you know, do you feel like you need to talk to Maurice? Because, like, this is crazy. He was like, there is nothing I can do as a grown man to tell a completely valedictorian lawyer that if you get arrested in the middle of the day, if that is nothing but a wake-up call, there ain't shit that I can say to make it any better for you. And, like, in all real tea, Marsau is right in those regards, because it's like, no matter how much you are as a person on the outside of something trying to tell other people, hey, do this, you need to stop doing this, like, change things for your life for the better, i.e. Martell, because let's not sit there and act like these niggas ain't tried to talk to Martell about his life, okay? We remember, I think it was earlier this season when they went over to Martell's house, and they were like, Martell, what you doing? Like, bro, and Martell don't want to listen. He's simply not listening for the fact that he's looking at them like, how dare y'all try to tell me something when we all done the same shit together. Martell is feeling like, y'all can't tell me shit because I know y'all's skeletons, right? But what Martell is missing is these niggas are still smarter than you, because guess who's divorced? And guess who's in the outs right now? Yo ass, okay? Now, granted, a lot of the biggest part that plays into is the fact that they picked the right ones. You know, they picked the right ones when Tisha and Kimmi, you know, decide not to leave. That's half the equation. But overall, these niggas was smart enough not to get a woman who was gonna blow up the spot. And then not to mention, your ego got in the way, Martell. Like, you have an ego out the wazoo. So, yeah, no, like, Maurice have definitely tried to talk to Martell to stop doing shit, but he won't. So that's why he's in the situation he's in, and that's why Marsau is like, I got nothing left to say to that man. And finally, it's like, finally, y'all really just want to cut Martell out for the dumb shit that he keeps doing. Like, it shouldn't have even taken this long. Real talk. But, you know, back to Maurice, you know, Tisha's like, just check him out. He was like, I got it. You know, I know my brother. Like, you know, she was like, dang, like, I'm sure you do, but just all I'm just saying is call and check in on him. Like, damn, I know my brother my whole life. You know, I know him. Okay, Marsau. So Destiny is gonna go pick up the trophies, and she, Kimmi, pulls up on her looking real cute in her little outfit, and Destiny's getting the big D energy trophies and whatnot. Kimmi pull-ups on her and basically just starts talking about you know, what the plan is, and You know, Destiny, of course, is asking how she's doing. Destiny's outfit was cute, with her little thin pigtails. But she basically just talking about how she wants to invite everybody. She's like, yeah, you know, I want to play games and, you know, just really just try to like get everybody in the group together. And so she's like, who are you inviting? She's like, you know, everybody. And she was like, you know, because and then we, you know, we could start, you know, trying to communicate. And Kimmy's like, ugh. Communication is where we start messing up, is where this group goes wrong. We all try to start communicating with each other. You know, Destiny, you being messy. She's like, you are being messy. I already can feel it. She was like, well, speaking of like trying to communicate and stuff, have you talked to Mel? And she was like, no. She was like, well, I just seen her and she is feeling like, clearly Destiny got an issue with me because she's been doing interviews. Now, Destiny, bitch, this is where I'm gonna have to check you a little bit, because what you not finna do is sit here and act like you don't know what Melody is talking about, because you want to sit here and do this thing of like, oh, I mean, I don't know, I didn't do any interviews. Like, I mean, if I said anything, was it that I was talking about her, or was it because it was the truth? And it's like, what? Destiny, you know whether you was talking about Melody in an interview or not, and regardless of you feeling like it's the truth or not, you still were talking about Melody. Like, that's the whole point. Like, what are you talking about Melody for? Especially the fact, as Melody said, like, Melody don't have your name in her mouth, so there's no reason for you to be talking about her. Like, and then for you to sit here and act like you don't know what Kimmy's talking about was just really just like, girl, I'll roll my eyes with you, Destiny. Like, people really be trying to like you, but you do shit like this that just makes my face just go, ugh. Like, it gives me the stank face when I think about it, because you sit here trying to play, act like you don't know what people are talking about. Of like, oh, you know, I don't think I said anything. Like, what interview is she talking about? Like, girl. So Kimmy's like, well, yeah, like, and she was like, well, I mean, is Melody invited? And she was like, I'm gonna invite everybody. She was like, matter of fact, call her. And Kimmy's like, you bitch. Like, you bitch trying to be messy. Melody didn't answer. So she's like, oh, Melody mad at you because she got you blocked? And she was like, no. Like, she was like, what'd you do? What'd you say to her? Because we know Melody will block a bitch real fast, okay? Yeah, basically, you know, she told Kimmi to extend the invite to Melody on her behalf, but okay, we know how that's gonna go. Melody ain't turning up to shit. So after that, we finally get to the you know, field day, Destiny, big energy, D-Day, whatever. And Tisha, when she was over there and Marsau walked up, she hugged him and kissed him and stuff. And Destiny was like, ugh, like, that's enough. She was like, this all the big D-I-D. And it was just kind of like, y'all drop down in the comments. Is Marsau giving big D energy? Is he giving big dick energy? Because it's not. To me, it's giving real turtleneck energy, low key. If I ain't even gonna play with you, both him and Maurice give real turtleneck energy. So everybody's showing up, and then we see Lance, Nails Lance. And so now Chris and Chris Fletcher, and now it's like, what the fuck is you doing here, son? And this is like, yeah, I invited him. And then I started to feel like, oh, they probably invited Lance, because at this time, now Stormy has quit the show. So I think they really just kind of used Lance as like a filler, low key. So yeah, everybody showed up. Martell comes. He gives, you know, the dudes the dap, and Tisha's like, I don't know if I should hug you. Like, you know, they always go through these modes of like trying to be cool with Martell, but then he always does some, and it's like, it makes people want to back up off you, Martell, because you are so determined to drag people down with you. Like, be a man and take your ass whipping like a G, because you in this situation because none other than yourself. And the way Marsau addressed Martell at the end of this episode, honestly, has been what he's been needing to do for a long time. But they start playing the games. They do musical chairs. They do what else was it? It was musical chairs and something else. tug of war. Yeah, musical chairs, tug of war. So then they all sit down for a quick little water break, and Destiny's like, okay, like let's play something like a game or whatever. And now everybody's like, oh shit, like here we go, because Kimmi already knows. She's like, this is what she was talking about. So the first question is, Martell, have you ever been hurt by anybody in the group? And Martell, and his ego is just of like, I ain't really, nah. And then Destiny finally had to push him and be like, well, didn't you say like Marsau said something? And then finally he was like, yeah, Marsau, the interview, with you, like, I feel some type of way. What you mean, like, you don't respect me? And Marsau was like, I mean, I kind of don't respect you, because he, and Marsau too, I noticed with him, he was being very strategic and purposely saying revenge, okay? Because that's what it is, Martell. You trying to not address it for what it is not going to make the situation go away. So it's like, oh, you lost respect for me. And so now Martell in his little confessional wants to feel like, oh, I'd be danged, if I feel a certain way. He's a child. He's a petulant child. For him to literally be like, oh, if anybody hurt me, whatever pain I'm feeling, I'm gonna do whatever to make sure they feel the same way as me. Like, grow up. You attacking Marsau is not gonna get you Melody back. You attacking Marsau is not finna make Tisha leave him. Your ass out, Martell. Like, you gotta let it go. And you dragging this shit, like, continuously try to like hold this carrot over their head. It's not, it don't change nothing. So now Marsau is like, so yeah, revenge porn, like, that's what you did. Oh, how you know what I did? How you know what's going on in my life? He was like, okay, so what happened then? And then Martell tried to explain it, and he was like, okay, so then tell me this. Was it a video? Like, was it, because he keeps trying to make it harassing communications and not revenge corn. Okay, so it's like harassing communications. And so Marsau just straight was like, okay, so tell me this. Was a video of you and Melody attached to that with a threat? Nah, you don't know what you're talking about. And Marsau straight up was like, Martell, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe you. And I think Martell is so confused for the fact that in the past seasons, we have watched Martell say some shit, and the dudes know he lying, but they won't say nothing. They'll just be quiet. And they'll just be like, okay, Martell. They know he lying. And so now that Marsau is actually sticking to the fact that, I don't believe you, Martell. Like, finally saying, you know what? I don't believe you. Martell is goop gagged and flabbergasted. So it's like, oh, you don't respect me. Oh, I don't respect, like, you want to come for me. I know all the shit that you done. Matter of fact, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. I know who should respect you too, Tisha. I know a lot of things about him. You would have called me a liar. Guess what? Am I a liar? Tell me something I've lied about. And Marsau was like the 20 girlfriends. And then Martell tried to switch it around, talking about, no, what I said was, I know you slept with 20 women since being with Tisha. And so Marsau was like, okay, prove it. So now Martell, he running to the car, he grabbing his phone for whatever insurance purposes of trying to be like, I got proof. So finally Tisha pipes up and was like, Martell, we not doing this, Martell, because you've been doing this for 7 years. You keep trying to say some show it. So show me the proof. Because Tisha, you gonna want to see this too. You gonna want to see this too. So now Marsau and Tisha is like, prove it. And Destiny in the confession, like, I mean, dang, everybody just sitting there like, ain't nobody finna say nothing. Like, Chris and Nell, they just over there sitting like this. And then Kimmi, Kimmi don't want none because she already exhausted with the shit she got to deal with Maurice. So here it is. We're now back in this cycle of Martell trying to burn the Scott's house down because he is so pissed off that they don't get to deal with the consequences of the same shit that he's been doing. And so it's like, how dare you try to look down on me, talking about you don't respect me. Like, like, you're not gonna have that. Like, he hates feeling like one-upped on. Like, he has a complex. He really, really does. But now here it is. You want to sit here trying to threaten Tisha. Well, oh, Tisha, you want to see this? Like, it's proof. And Tisha's like, put it on the table. Put it on the floor, okay? Like, put it on the table. Just drop it on the table, Martell. Now all of a sudden, it's you like he don't want to commit to it. So it's like Martell I almost feel like he don't want to commit to it for the fact of, one, he knows Tisha ain't going nowhere, and two, if I put it all out on the table, I no longer have anything else I get to hold over them. And that's what he really wants. He wants the power of being able to hold something over their heads. Because once he puts it out there, like, there's no power in it. Like, there's no power in what's left. And Martell is huge on it, like, oh, you know, we boys, you know, all that type of stuff like that. So him feeling like basically Marsau and Maurice abandoned, you know, the Bros Over Hoes program, and he's feeling some type of way. But they've now, you know, realized that, okay, we need to reboot the program. If we gonna do some shit, we can't do it with Martell, okay? Because Martell gonna run his goddamn mouth. Maurice, now he out there doing his dirt solo dolo, because we still trying to figure out what you at was in the middle of the day of the morning with allegedly some lipstick on your shirt, on your chin, and a high blood alcohol level. So whose house did you sleep at, Maurice? Okay, with liquor all on your breath. So at least Marsau and Maurice, they trying to do they dirt on their own. But unfortunately for Maurice's sake, the police got him caught up, okay? But it's not for lack of, you know, Martell, you trying to blow up their spot, you know? He just really resents the fact that they are still in their marriages and he's not. And then Marsau hit him with the gimme gotcha, when he was like, Martell, like, cause he was like, you lying. He was like, I bet you $50,000. Marsau said, show me $50,000. Like, nigga, we all know your ass broke. You ain't got no $50,000. We still ain't forgot how your ass was over there squatting in Chris Fletcher's house. So Marsau was like, first show me $50,000. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Okay, all right, you got nothing. So then it went from that to Martell, you want to keep, you know, trying to tell the truth about me or whatever. And he was like, now when I get to talking about Martell, you ain't gonna like it. But you and all the shit you doing, you and your new girl, or like you and your girl that you've been with for 4 or 5 years. I ain't got no girl, because Martell was like, I ain't been with nobody for past 4 or 5 years. And I be thinking of Arion like coleslaw, like, girl, I know this man stay in the house with you. And here he is once again denouncing every bit of what y'all. I ain't been with nobody in 4 or 5 years. I mean, we were to ask Arion, would she say that same thing? Because I'd beg to differ. So yeah, the episode ends with Martell once again trying to, like I said, he's gone. Martell is burning right now, and he's determined to throw gasoline on everybody else so they can burn with him, because he's, you know, now the plague of the group. He's now the scarlet letter of the group. And to have, not only, it's different when when the women look down at him, but when the men start looking at him, like Marsau is like, I don't respect you. Like, I don't, like, for the things that you're doing. It stings Martell a lot more, because like I said, he is used to them doing the dirt with him, and now that they kind of like, you know, backed up off it and ain't got to worry about none of their wives leaving them, Martell is so pissed off. So yeah, you guys, that was Love and Marriage Huntsville. Next week we gonna see Destiny try to get Martell to apologize to Tisha, because at this point, once again, if you gonna blow up the spot, then do it, Martell. Don't keep doing this, you know, you dangling it over their head, because that's really all he want. He can't put it all out there, because there is a part of him that doesn't want to blow up their marriage, because he knows what the pain is of going through a divorce. But moreover, the biggest part of him is not trying to put everything out there, because once I put it out there, now I ain't got shit to hold over them. Like, and then not only that, once he put it out there and Tisha and Kimmi still don't go nowhere, it's nothing. Like, it's nothing, Martell. Like, because they still ain't going nowhere. Like, and that's what pisses you off more than anything. They just happen to pick the right ones. Period. But Marsau, he said, show me $50,000 first. Like, nigga, shut up. But yeah, you guys, I was loving Marriage Huntsville. I don't think I missed anything else. Y'all drop down in the comments and tell me what you feel about Martell, you know, trying to sling muds at the Scott again. How do you guys feel about Maurice and Kimmi and, you know, these couples, like, you know, trying to toe the line of not really, you know, talking business, talking about the business that's going on in their life? Do you think it's time for them to start, you know, filleting their lives open, you know, filleting it up, chefing it, scoops, okay? Samurai swords, cut it all open, fillet all that shit open, okay? Yeah, you guys, and last but not least, you guys feel like Martell, what's his motivation for not putting it all out there? Why y'all think he got the information but he won't, like, put it out there for real? I appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch y'all hoes later. Deuces.